all kinds of crazy lately.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I guess that's good then. That you needed the rain, I guess, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we did. So, and we're off of a well now, so
Yep.
we definitely need to have that moisture coming in.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome then. Awesome sauce. All righty. So, hello, boys. How have you been?
Excellent.
It has
Yourself,
been
sir?
it has been a red hot minute since we have done this.
Yeah.
It's what, November?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, fucking Tufo is dragging his feet with these books.
I know. What's the deal? You got a ear with him. Tell him to
He's got to
speed it up.
bust
Come
these
on.
out. He's got to bust these out faster so we got content.
That's right.
Yeah.
I talked to him a couple weeks ago in the last episode, and he's got, I think, 3 coming out this year. He's just finished. He's about to finish Devil's Desk 3 if he hasn't already. Nothing. He just finished the final Zombie Fallout 25.
Yeah, he said that about
He said
24 too.
He said it's the final, but he said he
Yeah.
stuck the landing. And when I asked him, is it Indian Hill Book 7 stuck the landing? He said, yeah, I think it is. So we'll
Now,
see.
I don't like that because at the end of Indian Hill Book 7, he leaves it on a cliffhanger. Like,
Yeah, he does.
what's
Yeah,
coming in? What's attacking the earth now? So,
Right.
What do you guys been reading lately?
ahead,
honestly,
Chris.
I've just been listening to my book or listening to music lately. I started ZF25 over to get ready for, or not ZF25, but I started the
24.
Zombie Fallout
I was gonna
series.
say you been an early cut or what?
Yeah.
I made a side bet with Chloe to get an advance copy, so she hooked me up.
Mhm.
There you go.
Nice.
I've been doing Day by Day Armageddon by J.L. Bourne.
Okay. Is that good?
And yeah, it's not too bad. It's kind of the same premise that Mark does. It's journal,
Mm-hmm.
and it's zombies, and it's so it's pretty good. It's not as good as Mark, but it's gets along.
It's there. I took a zombie break for a little while. I caught up on the last couple of books of Jack Reacher. And then I was just slammed with doing not my own stuff, but narration for Cleve Silcox. I did the Max Reacher book that he just started. And he's going to turn that into a series and wants me to be his narration guy. And then I finished doing Raven, The Haunting of Hill School or something like that. Haunting of Harding. Raven, The
When do
Haunting
those
of
come
Harding.
out?
What?
When do those get released? Because like every time I've seen your post on Facebook, I'll go to Audible and there's nothing.
Max Reacher's already out.
Okay.
That one's out. If you just type in Max Reacher or Cleve Silcox, Sylcox.
Okay.
And Raven hasn't even. Raven, we just finished about 2 weeks ago, and Audible just got to go through it and listen to it and make sure it's appropriate. Raven is a full blown. It's a haunted house. It's a ghost story that we did, and then he came back to me afterward and said, "How would you feel about doing this as a full audio production?" And I was like, "Oh, you speak my language." Yes. I've always wanted to do this. So I went back and I put in sound effects, had to redo some of the narration, and wrote a soundtrack for it. So I did everything for it, all the sound effects, all the narration, and all the music. So it took me an extra 3 weeks to do an hour book. Took me about a month to do with everything, because I do this part-time. I'm not doing it all, full, sitting in the studio all day for 8-10 hours. And I'm friggin' happy with how it came out. I cannot wait for it to be released.
Cool.
I posted the Max Archer thing on the Chronicles page because, like, here's what I'm doing while I'm waiting for Mark to release a new book. And somebody had commented, he said, pro tip, put a link with it. On Facebook, when you put a link to Audible, even if you're an Audible member and you have the Audible app, Facebook doesn't link and open up the app on your phone, it brings you to the main Audible website, and then you have to
It stops
log
it.
in
Yeah.
through the website. Like, and you're still on the Facebook platform because they don't want people leaving Facebook. They want you to stay on it. So it's a web trick that they do. So posting the link, unless you physically copy and paste the link in another in your URL on Safari or Chrome or whatever you use, posting a link on Facebook isn't the same, and it doesn't work. So anybody out there that clicks on a link that brings you, like for Audible, it's just not as good. Just search the keywords on it. Search for Max Archer, or even search my name. If you search Jeff Royds, I got enough of a body of work now that when you search my name in Audible, all of the books that I've done come up. So I'm like, this is so fucking cool. So, but
That's funny.
speaking of
That's
favorite
good.
books, we are here to discuss what our favorite Mark Tufo series is. Everybody's got their favorites. Everybody's got their opinions. I saw some people on Mark's Facebook page, in the fan page, and on the Chronicles Facebook page. Some people said Indian Hill. Some people said Devil's Desk. Some people said Zombie Fallout. I think majority of the people are Zombie Fallout people. I don't want to say that's the easy one because it's such a broad thing, and I think the zombies is what brought us. Everybody initially brought them to Mark, and then they went, oh, he writes other stuff too, not just zombies. And then they find that the Indian Hills in the Devil's Dust, you're like, he's writing about fucking aliens and Sasquatches and crazy chicks that can move shit with their minds and ghost stories, all this fun crap. And also Mark's doing a sci-fi book, which is totally unrelated to the Talbot universe. He's doing 2 sci-fi books. One of them is going to be out this year. If you didn't get a chance to listen to the last interview with him, which you should listen to everything that we do, but he's writing 2 sci-fi books that are not in the Talbot universe. So boo hiss, if you're a Mike Talbot fan, you might have some new characters, but we all fell in love with Bryce and Carl and Teddy from The Parent Plague. So Mark can write other characters besides Mike and BT. But I'm gonna start because I'm talking a mile a minute right now, and if I stop like my momentum, I'm probably gonna crash because I'm very tired. My favorite series, and it's still number 1 to date, is Indian Hill. I like Indian Hill because I like the character development, and I like it that it's his first story. He started with Indian Hill, put it down for about 8 years, and then found it in his garage, looking for his diaries or something like that, or whatever he was doing, his lava lamps or roller skates or whatever he was searching for, came across his journal from college and was like, wow, I forgot about this. And I like aliens. I love zombies. Don't get me wrong. And I think Zombie Fallout is, a masterpiece of a series. But for my money, I think Indian Hill is just great because I didn't know what it was when I started it. You look at the covers, it doesn't look like it's aliens. It looks like it's an army military type of setting. And it's a whole don't judge a book by its cover. So when I started reading it, I had already listened to a lot of the Zombie Fallouts, and I got as far as I could with Zombie Fallout, probably like book 7 or 8. And then I went, oh, he talks about this book, Indian Hill. Let me go back. Let me check that out while I'm waiting for the next Zombie Fallout to come out. And as I'm listening to it, I'm like, all right, yep, there's Paul, there's Dennis, there's Mike, there's the car crash. Talks a little about his parents, about their childhood, they're growing up, they're going to college. Who the F is this chick, Beth? Why is she so annoying? Where's Tracy? Where's what's going on? But we're getting a college age Mike. And like a lot of people, I was kind of thinking to myself, what the hell is this book about? But once you stick with it and they get to Red Rocks and you go, oh, snap, like that Joe Rogan meme, you're like, oh my God, this is about aliens and they get beamed up, and it just takes a 180 and totally messes with your mind from that point on. So anybody that is new to this and new to Mark, and you listen to Indian Hill and you gave up on it because it was boring and you were like, is this a kissing book? What is this? Stick with it. Go back to it because it's so freaking awesome. And like Chris said, he leaves you hanging at the end. If you haven't read it and you don't want spoilers, shut this off now. But it's like, and President Mike is on the phone talking to himself or whatever the hell it was. And that's the second story that he's ended at the White House, or kind of with the president thing, because United States of Apocalypse ends with Mike and his cousin walking into the White House or the Oval Office or whatever it was. You're like, what the? Okay, where's book 4? And then you realize if you follow the timeline or whatever, it's all just a dream in a Talbot Sode on ZF when him and BT are on the aircraft carrier, the Jimmy Carter. That it was all just a dream and there is not going to be any book 4 because, Mike woke up. That's the official story of what happened. So that's where I'm at with that. That's Indian Hill is my favorite for that reason. Jason, you have the floor.
I got started with Zombie Fallout with Mark. And yeah, because there's so many books, Zombie Fallout's the easy one to say that it is, it could be your favorite. But I tell you what, I've gotten so hooked on just the 2 episodes of Devil's Desk that I'm waiting for the next one. I look forward to that series continuing. I'm hoping he turns that into 6, 7, 8 books. But that one has really become my favorite over the last probably year. And but don't get me wrong, Zombie Fallout is definitely a favorite of mine too. It is Zombie Fallout's the one that when I have nothing new to listen to, it's what I always seem to fall back on is going back to Zombie Fallout. And I just go back to book 1 and I just got done. I just ran through all 24 books again. It took me, 2 months, and I just ran through them all. I turn it on when I'm doing stuff in the office. I turn it in the truck. My wife, at this point, I don't know that she likes Sean's voice anymore. So,
oh boy, them's his fighting words.
Yeah, pretty much. So
you don't go back to book 0 when you start?
I do sometimes. Usually I just start at 1, and then I kind of go from there. 0 and 3.5 usually are the ones who get kind of skipped. They're not ones that I go into. I guess I kind of listen to them the way that I listen to them when I first started listening to the series.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of fall back on those ones later. But yeah, it's usually I start at 1 and I just kind of work my way up through. So
yeah, I started with 0 because 0 was the first book because it was free. And I had the premium membership on Audible and I had no more credits. I'm like, let's just go through and see what this is. And it's like, oh, Zombie Fallout. Let's check it out. It's a short story. It was for free. And so when I go back and I re-listen, I always go back to 0 and start from there.
Yeah.
So technically he's had 25 books, but there's 27 in the series.
Yeah.
Because of 3.5 or 4.5. Yeah, whatever the Human book is.
Yeah.
And the thing. And holy crap, Chris, I'm just noticing this because of the way my camera is positioned. It was blocking your face. You got a beard now, dude.
That's what I said too.
Yeah.
That's why when he first got out, I was like, man, he's got a nice beard now.
I leaned in like this and my camera's on the other side. I'm like, oh my God, Chris got a beard.
It finally came in. Only took, 39 years, but
I still can't grow a full beard. I'm 51.
He goes out west, and this is what happens when he goes out west.
I guess so, man. Buys a new house. He grows a beard. He's like, he's embracing the whole Devil's Desk Sasquatch look.
I cut my own firewood. Like Aaron and I, we actually figured it up. We never got a gas bill at all from this past winter because every time it got cold or whatever, we just kept the fireplace going, and that pretty much kept the whole house warm. Yeah. So
Good
which
deal.
is
We haven't
good
had to
because
fill our
gas
propane
prices-
tank yet.
We just had the whole thing in Massachusetts where people's gas bills like quadrupled in a month, and people weren't using anything extra. It's like this whole big bullshit thing that
Yeah.
they're doing. Like people had a $200 gas bill, and then the next month it was $700, and they were like, "What the f is going on
Yeah.
here?" So
They
consider
actually
yourself
just tried
lucky,
that here.
Chris.
They tried
Oh, I
that here.
do.
They tried doing the automatic switching to another vendor,
Yep.
and and I happen to have caught it. And yeah, my neighbors, like, mine didn't go up because I stopped it before they made the switch. But I got neighbors, yeah, their gas bill like tripled.
Yeah, it's
Ugh.
crazy, and they all say it's because of the
Insane.
mass saves program over here, where they come into your
Yeah.
house and blow extra insulation and tell you where all the gaps and holes are, and they can fix it. It's to pay for that program. It's like, okay, so people are saving money, and you're charging the other people more to help the other
Yeah.
people. Like, this makes zero. This is government spending. We're not going to get into that whole thing with government waste, but yeah, that's basically what it is. So, Chris, what's your favorite series and why?
Like and Fallout. Love the Like and Fallout series. It's well written. It's good. I love the witchcraft. I love the Azil coming in, them getting married. The kids, it's definitely at 6 and 7, and even the addition of Tim. I hated Tim in the Tim series. Absolutely hated him. But
I think a lot of people did.
more than redeems himself in Like and Fallout. So I mean,
the
he's still
unlikely-
an asshole. He's always going to be an asshole, but
Tim, the unlikely nanny. Who's the one character in the Tufo Talbot universe you don't want to watch your kids? And Mark puts him as a babysitter for his kids at the end of Like and Fallout.
right. My wife's about to shed some light on me. Let me
Okay.
know if you don't like it.
Okay.
How's that?
Looks good. There wasn't a lot of a change, but yeah, you're good.
Yeah, looks all right.
Just she's been slowly approaching me from the kitchen with this ring light and just getting closer and closer. Not saying a word to me at all either. Just getting closer and closer. So.
Just some woman in the background with a light coming.
Yeah.
No, that's not creepy, honey. Not at all. No.
I purposely, when I put my office together, I made sure there was a light in front of me so that it would,
I love Zombie Fallout, and like I said, I've started reading it over again. I don't typically read 0 and 3.5 when I go through it either. Those are they're kind of like additions or standalones. For me, I know they're a continuation, but
the redhead stepchildren.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing about the Zombie Fallout series, though, is it's got so many books. What is your favorite story arc in the Zombie Fallout series? Because you've got the Eliza, you've got Etna Station, and then you've got the aircraft carrier. So
yeah. Ooh.
Or the Lost Story.
That's a good one.
My favorite is up until the end of Edna Station.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then don't get me wrong, the Lost Stories, I like them and stuff, and the aircraft carrier. Still to this day, my favorite scene on the aircraft carrier is the one of BT in Mike's bathroom. Every time I come to that book, I just lose it. Every time I sit here in tears every time. So, but yeah, I really, I'm up. I'm the first part up until Edna Station's ends.
I think 23 was the best of the series with Pharos and all of them trying to get the refinery online. But I don't think the Lost Journals is my favorite part of the series. I like up until Eliza dies. That's my books 1 through 4, 0 through 4, whatever it is. Like, I don't want to say I keep I like the origins of the original ones because it's Indian Hill or Book 0 is my favorite out of the series or anything like that. But I like that he added a vampire, and it's telling because it sets up what Mike is with his family, his relationship with Tommy or Tomas, however it works out to be, until all that. But then after, spoilers, Tracy kills Eliza, I wondered where he was going to go with the series and how is he going to do it, because it's kind of like if you ever watch Buffy or Angel or any of that, like you get one story arc and then they stop it or someone dies and you got to continue on with it. How do they do it? It's good. I'm not saying anything negative or anything, so people don't give me shit and send me hate mail or whatever. I like the series the best up until book 4. I think it's 4 that she dies off. It's great otherwise afterwards, but up until 4, that's my favorite story arc of the Zombie Fallout world. What about you, Chris?
No, I'm with you. I like the Eliza story arc. And maybe the book right after where they're trying to save Justin. But yeah, no, it's really, really good there in the beginning. So
yeah. And I like Pork Chop, and I like Doc, and I like when Henry rips fucking jaw off of redneck number 1, and you're just like, oh, Henry, you feisty little bastard, you. But then if you listen to, I think it's Mark's Merry Mayhem, that there is that standalone story of Henry on that to the point of where he rips it's that whole section of the book from Henry's point of view. It's kind of like when you read the Z Apocalypse book, it's Riley book 5. It's something totally different. It's done from the point of the animals. And I liked Riley too, don't get me wrong. And I liked it more than I thought I was going to as far as a series was. I didn't think I'm not going to like something from the point of the animals. And the only reason I read it was because we were going to talk about it on the show. And it took me by surprise. It was better than I thought. I think Riley's going to give me it. Riley gets my, I didn't think I was going to like it, but I did award in in Mark's literary world. What about you, Chris? Which one you didn't think you were going to like, but you did?
Probably Callous Rose.
So that was what I was going to say too. That was one that I was going to say.
It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be going in.
Yeah.
I love animals, and I love reading books that come from the perspective of animals, just because it gets a lot more of that creative side from the writers. It's easy to imagine what a human's going to do or think. It's a little bit more difficult for an animal.
True.
I like the Riley books myself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ben was a favorite character of mine.
When Ben is with the bear.
Yeah.
The thorn grip.
And he is all like, hey, baby. You know? Once you go Yorkie.
Yeah, those are funny. I mean, the Riley books are good, but if I have to pick a single book that surprised me, Callous Roses. And I've listened to it a few times because it was, you always catch something else that, you can listen to these series 50 times and still catch something each time that you've never caught before. So
you say actually every time I watch, Star Wars or a Batman movie or like one of these huge things that I'm into, I always pick up something totally different. It's like I've seen these movies over 100 times in my life. How am I just noticing this part now? And it's the same thing with the books, whether you read it or you listen to it, you pick up different things and your mind kind of wanders a little bit at a certain section. You don't pick something up, and then on a read through you do. That's why Mark always gave me shit, and he still does, when I listened to the books when we was doing them for the series, when we were doing all of them. I listened to it back the first time on regular play, but then the second and third time, I try to get at least 3 listens per week before we did a show. I would listen to it at 1.5, 1.7 speed, because it goes faster, but you pick up a little bit more. Your brain can focus and function that even at that speed, it seems like it's slowed down after a few minutes. And then when you go back to listening to it at normal speed, it just sounds so friggin' slow. but you still can pick up things that you missed the first 2 or 3 times around. I mean, shit, Indian Hill, I think I've listened to 5 times the entire series, and I think that's the series I've listened to the most out of all of them, and I still picked up stuff that I missed, the first 4 times through, which I mean, I can't name an instance or a specific thing about what it was, but there's always that moment where you say, holy crap, how did I not hear this or read this the first few times through, It was crazy, and it's awesome. I love that series. I love that series so much. I think I'm going to listen to it again.
Yeah. I just
Now, you know which series I have not listened to, and I have to say I'm horrible that we do this, and I have not listened to it. Is the Distance series?
Really? How come?
I've never done it.
Oh, you came out on the show after we did Distance.
Yeah.
That was one of the first series we did. Distance is good because it's a post Indian Hill type of series.
Yeah.
And Mike and BT make an appearance. If you did not know that, it's a good series. It's not a. Mark doesn't write chick books, unless you can find whatever his pen name is for his, dinosaur erotica or whatever it is that he does. Which I don't think it's not dinosaur erotica, but he does do
Chocolate Thunder
erotica. He won't tell me the names. He won't tell me what his alias is or any of it. So
really,
I do find myself looking on the erotica section of Audible being like, is he BJ Slippy? Is he, all the weird names that you see? It's like, what would he do it as? But like I said to him last week, the last time, like, I think that would change our friendship dynamic greatly. I never listened to it, and I don't think I could.
You got Tracy's number. Call her, ask her.
She would probably. I don't know if she would tell me either. She'd probably be like, you're on your own on this one, buddy.
It's crazy that he writes erotica books, but he doesn't like to bring erotica scenes into his regular books.
No,
right
not at all.
Because he gets it all out, probably, and the other stuff.
Come on, Mark. You gotta let us know. Like, we want to look this shit up. We want to continue to support you in your other endeavors.
That would be a very weird couple of episodes of the podcast if we started covering those.
It depends what it's over. Like, maybe it's not called Chocolate Thunder. Maybe he nicknamed it, Chocolate something else.
I wonder if he's dropped Easter eggs or little hints in any of his series. It's probably definitely in a Zombie Fallout if he was going to say what it was about or what it was. Like it's a little Easter egg, like, oh, maybe it is Chocolate Thunder, or like you said, or whatever it is, But we would have to get Amber and another female back on the show just to break the dynamic up. There's 3 dudes talking about Mark's erotic novels. I would have to hand in my man card on that one and be very, very secure in my masculinity to do that book,
Oh, God.
There's a lot of different, maybe, it's lizard people, Indian Hill style.
Not the dinosaur. Because I asked him if he was a dinosaur erotically. He's like, I wish. She's making a fortune. But he does go under. He did hint to me that it is under a female name, I think.
Well, wait a minute. What about the nurse? What about from Devil's Dust 2? The nurse and the Scottish Highlander guy that she wanted. Remember she said that he had to write the story.
Yeah. Oh, that could be. Yeah. He's writing freaking Highlander erotica, Scottish kilts, and all this stuff. Very good call. All right. So everybody search the erotica section for men in kilts, Scottish Highlander erotica.
And it's got to be a nurse.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't remember what her name was.
Oh, my goodness. That would be awesome. We may have just cracked the code. Oh, yes, yes,
See,
Sorry,
yes.
and Mark didn't make it tonight, so now we can't be like, "Hey, Mark, is it?"
Yeah, you gotta watch his facial reaction when we say it, because if it changes even the slightest little bit, he might have to tell if that's
Oh,
what it is or
God.
not.
That would be
Oh,
funny.
now you got me thinking. Damn you! If you're
See,
out
and I
there
didn't even know he
listening,
wrote it, so that's really bad.
right? Exactly. Post in the show notes or in the Facebook group, like what you guys think it is, people that are listening, because it would be interesting. I think with the hundreds, thousands of us out there, I think we can figure it out. I think we can. I think we can. I think we can. I think we can.
Everybody's got to look at the back covers of the erotica and see if they see pictures of Chloe or Ben Ben.
They sneak in a bulldog or something like that. Oh, that would be fantastic. I don't know if I have that much time on my hands right now.
No.
And I'm not that good of a detective. Oh.
God, that would be. I could just see it. That would. And Mark, I hope Mark realizes that if we ever do figure it out, that he's really going to be in trouble.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. He would have to change his pen name again. So. Oh, Tracy, if you're listening, shoot me an email. Shoot me a DM. All right. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Well, you know what it is, but yeah. And I looked on the Devil Dog Press, and there's nothing on there. I don't think he does it as written. I think it's, but who does the audio is the question. I don't think Sean does it. Yeah. Obviously not, because I mean, all the ones I've seen, it's all virtual narrator. It's all virtual voice and AI. So
can't believe he's cheating on Sean. It's terrible.
Probably is. He's stepping outside of his marriage there with Sean. But yeah. I guess that all depends upon the publisher too. So we shall see. But I'm hoping with all my heart, the sci-fi book that he's doing is with a different publisher, and I don't think Sean is attached to it. Really? As far as I know, because it's not a Mike story. I think he's stepping away from that part where it doesn't have to be. And I'm trying to find out where it's going to go and throw my name in the hat for that one. You know,
yeah, I'm literally looking online right now to see if I can
see if we can figure it out. Oh, what is Mark's erotica name?
That's literally like Mark Tufo erotica book's pen name.
Did you Google that?
That's what I'm Googling.
Oh, that's the search history you need to erase if you pass away.
I'm on my company computer. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I'm sure they have. You go for a review.
Your IT
you spend an awful lot of time searching Mark Tufo erotica. We like to discuss this. Your TPS reports weren't in, but you found out Mark Tufo's erotica, Scottish Highlander erotica. So is it a nurse? Go back and say it all again, because I've only listened to Devil's Desk twice.
In Devil's Desk 2, when he goes to get the penicillin for his son, he sneaks into the hospital in the doctor's jacket, and when he gets in there, she was going to call security, and he talks her out of it, and she wants a book written, an erotica story written about her and a Scottish Highlander in a kilt. So it was going to be like the nurse and the Scottish Highlander or something like that. And that was how he got the antibiotics and got out of there without her calling, because she gave him this entire yellow notepad full of notes that he had to take. And she gave him 1 year to write the book, or she was coming after him.
Is this at the beginning of the story? Is the shit's hitting the fan and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's
Okay.
right after they go to the bunker and he comes down with a fever and that he got what was it, strep throat.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So-
Yeah. I do remember that. Yes. Okay. We're getting to it. We are
So-
chipping away. We got on our little Encyclopedia Brown Hardy Boys hats, and we are going to figure that out. Oh, man. So we discussed favorite series. What's your least favorite series? Not saying we hate it, but
Yeah.
what's your least
Bleed.
favorite series of it?
The Bleed.
I'm gonna.
Oh God, yeah.
The
I
Bleed.
think that's everybody's. That's a gift, but that's not him. That's a collaboration.
It's
And,
awful.
It is. I didn't even get through it.
I
I
know.
didn't
I
even get
did.
through the
I
first
did.
book.
It was.
I got about an
so
hour in,
difficult.
and he went. Mark's
Oh.
like, "You got an hour longer than I did." Just stop. Yeah, I mean,
I don't like to leave books unfinished, and I made it through it, and it was. I will say it has a natural conclusion. It's probably the only Mark Tufo book in existence that has a full-on natural conclusion.
Okay.
So there will never be another Bleed, which I think I can speak for everybody. Thank God.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not a series, but I think I don't want to say spirit clearing, but I do. For the standpoint that it was a ghost story, yes, but it took a lot to get to that ghost story to build up. And once you got to it, it was great. And the Jacob's Ladder style ending with the car accident, if you haven't read Spirit Clearing, spoilers, that they're all dead at the end. It's like Lost, I never saw Lost. The only reason I know that they're all dead at the end of Lost because I watched This Is 40 and they spoiled the shit out of Lost for us. But yeah, that they're all dead. And that's like his purgatory. Like he lived a whole life in the 2 minutes that he was dead. With that, I liked it, but it was my least favorite out of all of them. It's not one that I could go back and listen to again. I did 2 or 3 times for the show, but it's not one if I was ever revisiting a Tufo series or a book or a story, that's probably the one that I wouldn't revisit at all. Some people may not like that, but that's just too bad. That's mine. What about you, Jason? Do you need a minute?
I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because I'm not quite sure on that one.
Chris, you got a thought?
So if we're not including the Bleed, because everybody hates that, then I would probably say the Tim series.
Okay.
It was. I don't think I'll ever go back and reread the Tim series. It's too brutal.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love him in Lycan Fallout. Lycan Fallout Tim is awesome. Double Death Tim, he's a dick, but he's cool as shit dick too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the Tim
It's
solo
just
story,
not-
he had to really. It's too much. It's almost too much Tim all at once.
yeah,
And rightfully so, because it's a
Absolutely.
series. But I was glad that was only a three book series.
same.
Yeah. Tim was too much for me. I didn't even make it through the first full book. It was just it was too much for me. So, so Mark, I came across because I'm sitting here playing with this now that we're thinking about this stuff. So I have an author that does not have a picture, Amber Sage.
Okay.
And it's books about Highlander. It's got a book about Highlander and Nurse, and it's so yeah. But there's no picture of the author.
Amber Sage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna text him right now and ask him. He's probably not gonna answer me. But
if you get the 3 dots that never fully disappear for like an hour,
yeah,
we're probably right. Jason's probably found it.
Now this author does have like 16 books, but I'm just saying
Yep.
it is.
your
And I'm gonna get a message from
Erotic.
Messenger from him like, "You're a dick."
erotica name Amber Sage. All right. Put it there. He didn't even look. He hasn't looked at my messages from like the last 2 days. So he'll answer. He'll get back to me like 3 days later with like a thumbs up emoji or something, or say like,
Yeah.
"Yes, that's what I thought." I'm like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. I got to go back to the conversation and figure it out. So,
Dude, I've sent you 8 messages since then.
yeah, he's on in the morning and then he's on at night. And I think he's on in the
Yeah.
morning because you wake up and you go through your stuff, and then
Yeah.
you start your day and you start writing and doing everything else. And then at night, it's after he's done a couple of edibles or had a couple of beers, or he's just unwinding and relaxing, scrolling through the feeds, and he'll get back to me. I'll get a message from him at like 10
Sitting
o'clock
there.
at night. Yeah, my wife's like, "Who the hell's texting you at 10?" I'm like, "Fucking Mark." So
That's how you can tell you're getting old, when your wife is questioning text messages at 10 o'clock at night.
of course, or you're in a
No.
relationship, one or the other.
What the hell?
But yeah, who was that? So, what? Yeah, so
I'm horrible. My phone goes on silent at 9 o'clock. I don't hear anything again until the following morning.
yeah, my light will go off and it'll vibrate, but I have mine on silent when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
So, anything else? We did not. Anything else you guys want to talk about while we got you? Because who knows when we're going to do this again?
Favorite death
What was it?
across favorite death across all the books.
Ooh.
Who did you enjoy dying the most?
I mean, the easy one is to know.
See, I like the death of Beth a lot more than Deneau.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
I think I never wanted to see a character die more than I did Beth.
Yeah.
But did she
I
die?
hated her.
There's
I mean,
no
one version-
definitive. It wasn't like Deneau, where Deneau got bombed in a nuke.
Mhm.
And did she really? Did you find a body or anything like that? But
like didn't she get killed on camera though? By the
no, I don't think she
drivers?
was on camera. I don't think she was.
Oh.
Was she on camera? I don't think so. I think she was just in the bunker watching the, hoping for the nuke to go off. But you don't know if she's in the office or is she in a fallout shelter. I mean, it could be something like that. But even with Beth, you don't know. She's on the ship, but is she acting? Are the Strivers really eating her, or is she playing them the whole time? But if you're going by book deaths and that's what happens, I think Beth is the death that I wanted to happen more than anything. And I'm like, this bitch needs to go, and she needs to go hard. What about you, Jason?
Mine, I mean, like I said, the easy one is to know. I mean, because she, through the entire series, everybody wanted her to die all the time. But truthfully, I mean, in Devil's Desk, I wanted Tim to die in Devil's Desk.
Okay.
So when he got stuck underneath the boulder,
Yeah.
I was very happy about that.
Crazy enough, Tim is the hero of that series.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I think my resentment for him comes from the Tim series, and it just, I've never cared for it. I mean, now the biggest turnaround that I disliked was I did not like when Tommy became, towards the end of the Lost Journals towards the end of Lost Journals when he becomes the bad guy.
Yeah.
So those are the ones that I'm like, I could have done without Tommy becoming the bad guy.
You didn't like that character arc?
Wasn't my favorite. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love the book and that. It just wasn't my favorite. I mean, to me, Tommy was the good guy through all of it, and to have him arc to become evil at the end of the Lost Journals here, it's been kind of like, could have done without it.
but it makes you
Do you
wonder.
think that?
I was gonna say, it makes you wonder how does he end that story arc with that,
Mhm.
because a different timeline, they're in a different existence, and technically that timeline isn't supposed to be happening.
Right.
Like the two
Right.
timelines are, that's where he took a couple of edibles and did some writing last minute and put in some extra chapters. You're like, what the F were you smoking when you wrote this part?
Yeah, I mean, because in the zombie Fallout, he was not a bad guy in the zombie Fallout timeline.
Correct.
See,
Which timeline is it that he's bad?
I kind of equate it to that, and how in what is it? It's not Devil's Death. Demon Fallout.
Yep.
He's revealed to be evil and secretly the bad guy all along. So, like, I believed it whenever I was reading it. I was happy, when Mark made the fix, but at the same time, if there's an infinite universe, of course there's going to be a bad Tommy. Of course there's going to be, so.
Well, I mean, because there's some of the universes that Mike's not exactly the greatest guy either. So
Yeah.
But he's kind of not the greatest guy at the end of 24. Is it 24 or 23? No. Where Tracy's old and he's just Mike's just a miserable old bastard,
Yeah.
Which is probably foreshadowing to Mark's real life when he gets older. In about 10 minutes, Just
well, but you got to remember too, in Lycan Fallout, he was a miserable bastard in Lycan Fallout too. I mean,
yeah. Well, you've been alive for that long, and you see everybody you love die. You're gonna be a miserable prick too,
Yeah.
That's I would be. So. Oh, guys, I'm glad we did this. It was a good conversation. We got some good insight. Those of you out there listening, if you got what's your favorite character arc, least favorite character arc, favorite character arc, any of the stuff we discussed, drop a comment on the Facebook group, Chronicles of Michael Talbot, the podcast. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. I used to say we do this every Wednesday night live at 7:00, but we don't do it live anymore because there's not enough. I think we are live. We're live on YouTube right now. I just realized that I clicked the live button on YouTube. Some people were watching, but not a lot. Nobody commented, which happens. So jerks. But yeah, go back and listen to all the past episodes. We're all on so some of them are on YouTube. If the episode doesn't discuss the H1N1 virus that turned everybody into zombies, YouTube threw us off those episodes off for misinformation. Because God forbid you talk about a fictional thing and their algorithm can't figure that out. Their AI is not that smart yet, but all the episodes are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And Spotify I think after a couple of them the videos are up there on Spotify as well, if you want to see what our dumbasses look like while we do this.
So 25 doesn't come out until July.
Okay.
I'm looking to see when Devil Desk 3 is supposed to come out.
I think he just finished that. He was supposed to be finishing that by the end of the month, which is March. So that should be done. That should be out.
September.
Well, it depends which. September?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think December is when the sci-fi book is going to come out. So Sean's got some reading to do. He's got 2 out of 3.
Mark's been
spending
too much time. I was just saying, Mark's been spending too much time writing his eroticas. He needs to get back to what we know and love.
Yes, exactly. Oh God!
I was going to send him a link. Somebody's got on my Facebook Marketplace here. They've got one of the Star Wars R2D2 coolers that used to be in the stores. So it's the 3-foot tall cooler, and it's R2D2, but it doesn't have the head. It's R2D2, and then it's just got a flat plexiglass top to it. And if somebody was selling it for $60, and I was like,
really?
I was almost going to be like, hey, Mark, you interested in this?
That's something you could do. You could try to find a cylinder cooler and even make one put a round top on it and just paint. If you're creative in painting, I'm not that creative in painting,
Nah,
but you
never
could
mind.
do something like that. That would be cool. An R2D2 cooler. You pop his head open, you grab a cold one out. So, gentlemen, it has been fun. Chris, congratulations on puberty finally kicking in and being able to grow a
Thank
full
you.
beard. It looks good on you. It looks good
does.
on you, man.
Appreciate
good.
that. The wife really
It's not
has
gray
enjoyed
like
it. So.
me and Jason's when I was coming in fully. You know, you don't have that gray look yet. You're
Yeah.
still young.
Yeah.
Oh, it's getting there.
You can see there's more white in mine than there is anything else. So
Yeah, I just shaved my face. I'm like, ooh, this gotta go. It's gonna get a nice gray sheen on the podcast tonight.
I don't care what color my hair turns as long as it stays there. Like that's my big thing. I don't want to
well,
go
that's
bald.
it. I mean, I shave mine, but if I don't shave it, I have a full head of hair. I just started shaving it and just kept it that way. So
Yeah.
So much easier. Yeah, I'm due for a haircut any time soon. I got wedding seasons coming
Okay,
up,
man.
so Mary made me an appointment with her hair person. They're like, you're getting that shit cut before the wedding. I'm like, okay, not our wedding, other friends' weddings. So, but guys, it was great talking to you, Chris. Glad you're safe with the storms, everything that passed through the Midwest there. You too, Jason, and you'll catch up in another couple of weeks. All right.
Sounds good, guys.
All
Be
right,
safe. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.